So how do I do it? Well, as corny as it sounds, I actually write a journal every day. I like to see my life as a movie where I write the script. And sometimes you need to rewrite scenes, improve them, and that's what writing a journal does to my life. And I want to cover this more in depth in a future episode. But for now, all you really need to understand about me is that my drive in life is to design a life that I believe in. So for example, my personal philosophy is that no matter how successful I ever get, I never ever want to hire people to work for me. I don't want to use people. I want to use AI and efficient computer programming to work more efficiently, but I don't want to use people. I still do want to work with people, but then it would be more for hiring their business services. So I could definitely see myself outsourcing aspects of my business to other one-man businesses. And I think, or hope at least, that the future will be more business to business in the sense that it will be like people like you and me, and we both have our businesses and we work together to enrich our lives. Now, I wanted to end this episode sharing a personal experience that happened quite recently. As a consultant, I work at very different places doing very different things. And a few months ago, I was given the option to work an assignment that was way beneath me. It was to work as a receptionist, and I took it. And I'm actually very glad that I did. Now, for most people, I don't think that being a receptionist is something to be ashamed of. But for someone like me, it was a very basic job. For about 3 months, I was answering the phone. I took resumes from people who were looking for work. I called people in the company when their guests had arrived. I ordered flowers when someone was leaving the company, or I ordered pickups for different packages. Needless to say, it was very different from what I usually do, which is to work with analyzing and creating forecasts and, planning advanced supply chain projects. But the weird thing was I actually loved working as a receptionist because it gave me a lot of free time working on my own personal projects. And I spent a lot of time just thinking and having a calm mind, and I wasn't stressed, and I didn't even dread going to work every day. But what was even weirder was that because the job was so basic, it was actually very easy to do a great job, and people that I work with thought that I was the best receptionist that they've ever had. The only downside to this job was that I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't put it in my resume on LinkedIn, and I avoided telling past coworkers what I was doing these days. And I'm gonna be honest, I was actually ashamed of my job. But why? I mean, I enjoyed it. I wasn't stressed from it. So I have a theory that this whole thing started in school when we were taking classes and doing tests in subjects that we didn't like. And this sort of programmed us to doing things that society picks for us, essentially doing things that we don't like. I was a pretty good student in school, and I wonder what that actually means. Like, when I think about it, it just means that I was very good at pretending I liked a subject that I really didn't. And I often think about how I would do things differently if I could go back in time. I definitely would have skipped more classes, and I definitely would not have tried to ace every single test. I would have focused more on what I do today, just doing things that I like and creating digital assets that generate passive income. So what I wish for you is that you find a boring job that gives you time, energy, and incentive to create a better life for yourself. And I mean that. I hope you find a job that gives you the headspace you need to think about a better life path. Now, if you are still not convinced, if you think that I'm wrong, then you should not be subscribing to my podcast, my YouTube channel, or my newsletter. But, parting ways, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. You do your thing and I do mine. And if you think that the best thing in life is to find some job where you are stressed all the time and live paycheck to paycheck, if you think that's the best thing to strive for, then I wish you the best. I really do. I'm not being condescending. I hope you find a way to make it work out. But if you want to design and build a life where you can leverage technology like AI and the internet to create a sustainable lifestyle where you are in control, a life where money doesn't control you, a life where you are the master of your destiny, then stick around. I have a lot more to tell you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.